Sherry Gray, and this is my video on my practice oral argument for Jamal Henderson versus Sunny Lang. My opening statement: I'm representing the plaintiffs Jamal and Ebony Henderson in a case that the court erred in ruling in summary judgment for the defendant Sunny Lang, and we will show the appellate court how they should reverse the decision in favor of Jamal and Ebony for Sunny intentionally inflicting emotional distress. In our argument, we will explain the outrageous behavior of Lang and how she knew Jamal was susceptible to suffering emotional distress when he faced ridicule about his height. Sunny intentionally acted and demonstrated behavior towards Jamal and Ebony that she knew would cause an emotional response. And finally, how the outrageous behavior triggered physical symptoms in both of the plaintiffs, and why Lang should be held liable for intentional infliction of emotional distress. First point: in Restatement of Tort 46, it provides that the actor's conduct may be outrageous because they are aware of the other person's susceptibility to emotional distress due to a physical or mental condition. Jamal is susceptible to suffer emotionally when facing ridicule about his height, especially publicly and in front of his family. Sunny knew this about Jamal. He faced ridicule in third grade and told Sunny this story with little or no emotional reaction or empathy for him. This set the stage for Sunny and what she planned to hold against Jamal. Ebony would suffer as a consequence of Sunny's actions, being she is Jamal's best friend and witnessed the behavior of Sunny, and believing that it was her fault that Jamal was suffering emotionally, only finding out that she suffered PTSD at the hands of Sunny and what she did to Jamal. Point 2. Sunny possessed the intent to cause emotional distress against Jamal and Ebony. The word intent is used throughout the Restatement of Torts to mean that the actor desires the consequences of his or her act or believes those consequences are substantially certain to follow. Sunny states she had no intention to marry Jamal. Knowing Jamal was susceptible to ridicule about his height, Sunny saved the third grade story Jamal entrusted in telling Sunny about and turned it around on him and posted messages about his height on a public forum for friends and family to see. Just like when he was in third grade, he emotionally retreated from everyone in his life and shut himself away because of Sunny intentionally holding those sensitive details he experienced in third grade against him and she was substantially certain knowing he would suffer emotionally like he did in third grade. Sorry for that. Point 3. Arizona courts recognize that anxiety that results in physical symptoms such as high blood pressure, a nervous tic, chest pains, fatigue, dizziness may constitute severe emotional distress. The restatement says preying on a plaintiff's peculiar vulnerability or idiosyncratic problem may subject one to liability, even though the stalwart, reasonable person would easily endure the situation. In Harding versus Sternshire, he sued a dentist for infliction of emotional distress, and the court ruled they did not present enough evidence to recover for this claim. The intentional infliction of ridicule about his height thrust upon him by Sunny triggered physical symptoms that were tucked away since third grade and now were manifesting themselves all over again from the actions of Sunny. Arizona looks at this issue on a case-by-case basis to determine whether a plaintiff has offered sufficient proof of emotional distress. Sunny preyed on her victim, Jamal, and used his height vulnerability to ridicule him, and knowing it would cause him to break down emotionally. He isolated himself away from his friends and family. He drank, slept all day, and stopped working. The worst of all the physical symptoms that he suffered was attempting suicide. Ebony found him in time and saved his life. We do believe strongly that his case does offer sufficient proof of emotional distress with physical symptoms. as Arizona recognizes. Ebony suffered as a consequence of Sunny's behavior towards Jamal by thinking she was the reason Jamal was suffering physically and emotionally. Using the doctrine of transferred intent, the restatement has a form of transferred intent, allowing recovery for IIED of severe emotional distress suffered by one who is not the object of the defendant's outrageous conduct, which Ebony would fall under this category. She saw a therapist and was told she was suffering post-traumatic stress disorder, and it was because of Sunny's actions towards her brother and best friend that she was suffering emotionally. Ebony suffered because her brother was suffering due to the actions directed towards Jamal. The emotional and physical symptoms transferred from the intended Jamal to Ebony. In conclusion, we urge the court to reverse the decision of the trial court and rule in favor of my clients for Sunny Lang intentionally causing emotional distress with physical symptoms against Jamal and Ebony Henderson. Thank you.